What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time once again for us to sit down as Black nerds, as African American nerds, as blerds, whatever you want to call us. We are here once again to talk about whatever we want to talk about when it comes to Black culture, nerd culture, anything in between. We will talk about it. So we are here doing this thing that we like to call Blerd Grounds. My name is James Portis. To my left, I am joined by my only cast member for the evening because this was a bonus episode that we wanted to wrap up for you guys real quick to end off our legacy of power. I have the man who is devastated by the fact that Digimon Evolution is a failure. Because the leaks from Reddit hit and it looks horrible. It's worse than Try. Anyway, Andre, how you doing?
I'm devastated that you brought that into my life. I'm so devastated. How could he did this to me on purpose?
Because I didn't want you to waste your money to go to the theater, my bro.
But misery loves company, doesn't it?
I mean, would you
gotta be miserable, I gotta be miserable.
Would you rather waste your dollars and go to the movie, or would you rather be telling you just to not waste your money?
I would have wanted to wasted my money and be an ignorant bliss and then be disappointed later, but I'm fine.
No, because now you can put your pre-order for Digimon Survive in and not have to worry about that.
You right.
Exactly. Anyway, we gonna go ahead and get into this, but before we do, don't forget you can check this podcast out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, what else is there? Spotify, YouTube,
everywhere else but SoundCloud, because we don't support SoundCloud.
Yeah, we don't support SoundCloud. Thank you. I have a link there because there's other things that use iTunes is links, like Podcast Republic is available for Android. That way you can get iTunes podcasts. There's Overcast and Anchor that do the same thing. So it's we're available there, but we don't it's not necessary. I need to check if we're on iHeartRadio because iHeartRadio keeps promoting itself as the best place for podcasts, and I'm like, is it though?
I mean,
is it though? Because my analytics say that most people come through Apple Podcasts, but
I go through Apple Podcast.
To each their own.
Right.
And then don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Blerd Grounds. You can follow the website On Comics Ground on Twitter and Instagram at On Comics Ground. And check out the website oncomicsground.com with some hyphens between those words for us, please. So it's on-comics-ground.com.
We are not on iHeartRadio.
Oh, we're not? Okay, well, I'll have to fix that.
We are not.
I'll have to fix that this week. Anyway, and you can also check out our fellow podcasts on part of the OCG network, our Living on the Edge Spider-Man podcast, and our On Comics Ground flagship podcast, Panel to Panel, every other Wednesday for Live on the Edge, and every Saturday, every Monday. We record Saturdays, but every Monday for on Panel to Panel, on your local podcast platform of choice. All right, so Andre.
Yo,
we got through the Saban era.
I know. I'm so relieved.
We got through the Saban era. We got through the Disney era. We got through the Neo Saban era. Well, almost all went through Neo Saban. We are at the last 2 seasons of the Neo Saban era. We survived the pain that was Megaforce.
I feel it hurt me, so I didn't really survive. I managed.
No, you survived. You're here. That's what matters.
I mean, am I, though?
If you didn't survive, you wouldn't be here.
Is my soul here?
Yes, you were here. I mean, hey, the EOS mom might have took it, but anyway, that's a Digimon job. That's a Digimon job to took them off. But anyway,
I might still be a child living out my dreams.
Oh my god!
In a parallel dimension.
But anyway, so after Megaforce, we saw the departure of returning Power Rangers producer Jonathan Zacher, who came back after leaving for a long time, and as a favor to Saban, came back for Samurai Megaforce, and we saw the return of legendary Power Rangers producer and previous writer Judd Chip Lin. We saw him return. Andre's clapping.
I love Judd Lin.
Yes, because we all know that Judd Lin is responsible for that tearjerker of a finale in Power Rangers in Space that he luckily reused in the finale of RPM when he was tapped to come back in halfway through RPM to finish it off because the other producers had left in protest. But then we saw Chip Lynn come in and basically just rewrite Power Rangers in space with a new rapper.
Oh yeah, he did come in during the writer's strike, didn't he?
Yep, yes he did.
What a time.
Bruh, like, it was so obvious because literally, like, they went from having a decent story with Tanaya and then just turned her into Astronema. Like, it was so obvious.
Yeah.
Even if he hadn't been there, you could tell someone copied his homework.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I guess. But Judd Lynn has arrived at Power Morphicon, and we saw the reveal of 5 new Rangers. For the first time in a long time, we saw the premiere of 5 Rangers with only 1 female. But the big achievement of that 1 female was that she was the first ever Black Pink Ranger.
Woo!
I mean, Andre's heart go full of
Woo! Man. And what a great job they did picking her.
Okay, so like, now I'm not the biggest fan of Dino Charge, and also I haven't finished it because at this point in the franchise, I had taken a step back. I was only messing with Power Rangers peripherals like the Boom comics, like Hyperforce, like Shattered Grid. I was not messing with the main show, mainly because it was on cable, and then I've watched some of it in post when it came to Netflix, but I have not but I've seen more of Ninja Steel, which is sad, than I have Dino Charge.
Ew, where is
I know it's very weird. That's why I figured.
Where is your taste?
Apparently, like, hey man, I just didn't like Dino Charge because I was sick of doing dinosaurs over again, bro.
But like, dinosaurs is what's bringing in the money, though.
Like,
it sucks, but that's what it is. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
I guess, but I didn't like. Yes, the gun thing was kind of cool, but like, I didn't understand why it was a thing.
I don't understand why Ninja Steel didn't use their swords as morphers, but I digress.
You need to get over this.
I will never get over that.
We're not there yet. Anyway, Andre, please explain to these good people the series known as Power Rangers Dino Charge.
So we've gotten through the hurdle that is Super Mega Force. Now we're back. We're at season 22, as James mentioned. This is Power Rangers Dino Charge, adapted from the Sentai series Kyoryuger. But it gives a whole different type of plot. So it starts out 65 million years ago. An alien named Keeper had these 10 energems. They're
E.T. in a robe.
E.T. Right, basically E.T. They're kind of like the Dino Gems back in Dino Thunder, except they don't give you civilian powers. So he was on the run from this alien bounty hunter named Sledge, who is an original villain for this season. And he's chasing them all throughout space because Sledge wants all of the energems for whatever evil plot he has. I forget what. He crash lands on Earth.
He literally wanted the asteroid specifically because he wanted to give his girlfriend a freaking a ring so he could marry her. Wasn't that right?
Yeah, that is true.
I remember this, and I was like, "What in the actual hell is going on?" Like,
yeah,
this is dumber than anything I've seen in a minute.
Yeah, he got him a girl.
Like,
he just want to get married, go on a vacation.
The idea of this bounty hunter looking dude and this big pink heart-shaped Valentine come to life person getting it on with what whose idea was this? This ain't even some Rita and Zed shit. This is some weird stuff going on here.
I mean, I'd like to think that it was better than Rita and Zed because it was an actual functioning relationship.
Oh, Andre,
Rita, she didn't have to brainwash him.
But Rita and Zed had a child.
And we saw how well that turned out. That abomination of a thing. Anywho, Keeper crash lands on Earth, which at that time is when the dinosaurs started roaming around. So in order to protect the energems, he gave them to 10 dinosaurs, of which you could probably guess which ones those are at some point. And he sends a bomb back up to Sledge's ship, and it blows up.
It's a bomb!
It's a bomb! But Sledge also had a bunch of asteroids on his ship, because I guess he was trying to make money off of them, and killed the dinosaurs.
No, so, Andre.
Yo.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
The Ice Age. Yeah.
Arnold was wrong.
Yeah, we were all wrong. Science is all wrong. So we cut to present day. We meet our Red Ranger, Tyler Navarro, who is on a search for his long-lost missing father, because no moms ever, at least not yet anyway.
This is like one of the first series in a while to actually include parents.
Yes. But barely any moms.
Because Mystic Force had parents, SPD talked about a parent, and then before that, we had nothing up until Turbo, if I'm correct. Actually, no, Lightspeed.
RPM.
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 And then we had Lightspeed, and that was it until Turbo was back around.
Yeah. So Tyler's looking for his dad, and eventually he comes across the red energem stuck in a cave wall. And then after a while, he starts meeting up with people. He meets up with Shelby, who is our resident Pink Ranger, first African-American Pink Ranger, who is working at the Dinosaur Museum in Amber Beach. She's kind of a waitress, but she wants to do more, go on expeditions, find dinosaurs, because she actually loves dinosaurs and is really good at them. Really good at, knowing all about them and all of their information or whatever have you. Working at the museum, we have Coda, who you won't know until later on, but he's actually a caveman from back in the dinosaur age who found a blue energem and kind of was frozen in ice during the Ice Age.
So he's Shia LaBeouf.
Pretty much, yeah. Hollywood superstar Shia LaBeouf.
I was referencing holes, but okay.
I mean, I was referencing that video. We both did things. We also have Chase, who is kind of like this low-key playboy from New Zealand. Full-on accent and everything. You actually know he's from New Zealand instead of saying, he's from somewhere else, but with an accent. And you have Riley, who is basically a farm boy, but is leaving out to find his place in the world.
I will find my way.
Right.
Go the distance.
Right. Running the museum, you have Miss Kendall Morgan, who at the beginning of the show, no relation to Kendricks, by the way.
Silence.
Yes. Who at the beginning of the series kind of has a stick up her butt, especially when it comes to Shelby, because she's like, no, you're not good enough. You're not qualified for this. Go back to being a waitress, stay in your place.
I distinctly remember that the first time I watched the first episode of Dino Charge, I literally called her Madam Oppression. Because she literally is just oppressing Shelby. And I was like, bro, she's the only black person here. And you're just smashing her down. What are you doing?
Pretty much. I didn't necessarily think of it at that point, but yeah, she pretty much was stifling her dreams. Stay in your place, bitch.
That's literally what it was.
Stay in your place.
You're just a waitress. I'm like, that seems like code for something, and I'm kind of concerned here. Are you trying to do some political commentary here, Power Rangers? Because I don't know how I feel about this.
Maybe, or she just wants to run her ship the best way she knows how.
Oh my god.
I don't know. But anywho, she starts to lighten up later on in the show. So Tyler and Shelby, well, more so Shelby, she sneaks onto a truck and going on their next exhibition because she's like, well, if she's not going to allow me to do it, I'm going to just sneak on here and I'm going to do this shit my damn self. Eventually, she finds her pink energem and a monster shows up by the name of, oh god, what's his name? I'm so bad with villain names.
They reuse him later, so it's not like it matters.
Yeah, Fury.
Oh, Fury. I thought you were talking about the Frost Saurus thing.
No. Fury. They start attacking. She bonds with the Energem, which somehow gives them their morphers, their gun morphers. They morph. They fight. It was great. And that's the end of episode 1. By episode 2, that's when they actually meet Riley, whose car broke down. And I forgot how he found his Energem, but they ended up saving a lady whose car was about to catch on fire and threw it up with, Ranger strength, I guess, without morphing. So, and then eventually the team comes together. we're going through the motions. Tyler's still looking for his dad subtly. And at this point, well, towards like, what was it, like episode 6 or something like that? Fairly early on, Fury starts to get these like weird attacks or whatever, like something's inside of him trying to come out, which Tyler automatically thinks is his dad. I don't know why. All the while they're trying to get the gold energem, which is in a kingdom of Xandar. So we go through that episode, and it turns out that Fury actually had absorbed was he a prince?
He was a knight.
He was a knight. Okay, right. The prince is later on. He was a knight of Xandar named Ivan, who ends up being our Gold Ranger. And so we keep going. We go through the motions. The actual prince of Xandar, Philip, eventually becomes the, what is he, a Gray Ranger? Graphite?
They literally call this dude the Graphite Ranger.
Yeah. I don't know why, but, whatever.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah, I didn't understand it either. And we keep going through the motions. Threats keep getting escalated. We find another ranger. We find a purple ranger.
This old-ass man.
Forget what his name was, but he wasn't really he didn't really stick around too long. He knew what his place was, and it wasn't to be a ranger.
I remember him because he was like, at first, I'm gonna be a hero and save my city, and then it was like, oh, I'm too old for this shit. And it gives them back the energem because you have to freely give it away if you don't want to be bonded with it.
Right,
a new person be bonded with it, and then Madam Oppression takes the purple energem and becomes it herself. And I was like, okay.
Because she spent that whole entire episode trying to find a better candidate. And then when she does find one, it turned out to be a villain.
That's some Ziggy shit right there.
Right. So I was like, okay, if you gonna give it to somebody, you gonna give it to her. That's okay. She's good. She cool. Eventually, Tyler ends up getting captured by Sledge aboard the ship, and that's when Kendall actually becomes the Purple Ranger, or the Violet Ranger, I think officially is what they're calling her.
Was it Violet?
I believe it was Violet.
Oh, okay.
No, it's purple.
Okay.
Well, either one of those would have sounded great anyway. And so, eventually, Tyler ends up blowing up Sledge's ship, which we think, yay, big bad, he's gone. But no. Come season 2, we get a new
supercharge.
Dino Supercharge.
Because we need to have that super in there.
Right, because Nickelodeon and their reasoning, and it's dumb. I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. Or whatever have you. We're here. Dino Supercharge, we get a new villain by the name of Snide. Snide, yes, it is Snide. But he kind of does like this Jekyll and Hyde type thing. Snide's the evil one, and Heckle's the good one. Heckle's the human one of the bunch. So early on, Heckle has this plan, like, I'm going to integrate myself into the team and, gain their trust and then eventually steal their energems. That doesn't last for very long.
Okay, now can we speak on something real quick?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Sentai fan.
Mm-hmm.
But, isn't Snide just the Neo Zeltrax costume from the Dino Thunder MMPR Dino Charge team up that was supposed to happen, but we never got?
You would be correct.
Because there was specifically a Neo Zeltrax and a Neo Goldar that were supposed to happen, apparently. And then they didn't follow through with that. So it has made Neo Zeltrax just a villain in Dino Charge. Like,
pretty much.
Why?
Reasoning.
Ugh.
I don't get it. I don't get it either. But, it's a thing.
It don't make no sense.
I have been calling him Zeltrax the time. So, obviously, new enemy, we got new power-ups. New armor for the Megazord, eventually new Zords. But we still have to find... We have, like, red, blue, green, pink, and black, gold, and
Graphite.
Purple, and graphite. So we have 8 Rangers. So we have two Rangers left. Guess who one of those Rangers is?
Keeper.
No, which is what I thought at one point, but no, not Keeper. Drumroll, please. Stop. Tyler's dad!
Who looks young as fuck, like he literally is Tyler's brother.
Literally looks like his brother.
I remember watching a YouTube video, they're like, I'm your dad. I'm like, the fuck you're not?
Yeah. He comes in this plot where Tyler's getting a new, basically his version of the battleizer, but it goes wonky and he ends up turning himself into a dinosaur, kinda, sorta. So he's like, son, I'm your father. And it somehow, like, miraculously breaks him of this wonkiness or whatever. Yeah. So we keep continuing through the motions. His dad doesn't stay around for too long because he's like, I'm gonna go find. I think he went off to go find the last Energem, the silver one.
Which is their way of saying, hey, we don't want to keep paying this guy to hang around.
Right, because, I mean, we already got, like, 7 people plus Keeper. It's kind of getting a little too crowded. Graphite Ranger doesn't even stick around because he's like, I'm gonna go do my own thing or find better ways to help you guys or whatever.
Also, he's a prince.
And he was kind of a prick in the beginning. So when he found his Energem, it didn't really pick him because he was a really selfish prick. And then he saves some little girl and the Energem's like, alright, cool. You get the powers. Good for you.
It was so dumb.
It was really dumb. So we keep going through the motions. Eventually we find out that the silver Energem is in space, I believe.
I believe that's what it was, yeah.
I believe that's what it was. But at the plot, they made it seem like this was going to be like a really important part of the storyline, but then it ended up getting like flushed out by a dumb subplot about a robot Coda or whatever have you. But I digress. So eventually, the silver Energem is found to be with Keeper's apprentice type character named Zenowing. But like Heckle and Snide, he kind of goes in the back and forth of a good guy and a bad guy. Eventually, they separate, and he becomes the Silver Ranger.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the battles keep on going. We are introduced to the quote-unquote main baddie named Lord Arcanon. He had originally hired Sledge to bring him the galaxy's most dangerous monsters to make an army out of them. Now, if you really pay attention, they really reuse some suits in there. You see Necroli in a cage. Like, whoa! Time's really been tough since Mystic Force, huh?
No, because they purified her.
Yeah, they did.
So it don't make no sense.
Well, you know,
probably. Technically, apparently, Dino Charge is in its own universe because they screw up the timeline so much. So it's possible the next version of Necroli is just some random thing that never got purified by magic. So okay,
yeah. Sure, yeah. I didn't even get to that part yet, but yeah. So Arcanon gets defeated at some point, but in that process, the Earth gets swallowed up in a black hole. So, with the power of the Energems, we have to go back in time and stop Sledge before he even, kills off the dinosaurs with the meteors that he had. Well, this kind of does a thing with the time-space continuum, and we're in a universe where the dinosaurs never died.
Marty! We have to go back and fix this shit!
Pretty much. Pretty much. And by this time, Heckle is completely separated from Snide, so he's kind of like he's a good guy now. He's expanded upon more so in the comic because in the Sentai there is one more Ranger, but he's an evil Ranger. So they didn't really use his costume in here, except in the comic. So maybe we'll see that later on. I don't know, but keep saying I digress. Don't know why. So that's the end. Coda and Ivan go back to their respective timelines, and everybody else kind of just works at a dinosaur zoo.
What ended up happening with the whole thing during Beyond the Grid, they call him the Dino Charge Dark Ranger because they say after he became a keeper himself of and the protector of the Dark Energem, he became the Dark Ranger in a way to protect the Energem from evil. So basically, once he became a keeper, he became a ranger. So that's how that happened.
Ah, good for him.
Hopefully, sooner or later, we'll talk about the comic book. But for now, I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah.
So, Andre, what were your thoughts on Dino Charge before I bitch a little bit?
I actually liked Dino Charge. It was a huge step up from that catastrophe of Super Mega Force. Now, if you like Super Mega Force, more power to you. Your feelings are valid. I don't agree, but we can coexist. Dino Supercharge started off great, but I feel like it teetered off once they introduced the Silver Ranger. I kind of wasn't a fan of the finale, so to speak, just because it then messes up its timeline and its place in the Ranger universe. But I still for me it's the better season of the Neo Saban era.
Okay,
that's just my opinion.
Okay,
Samurai does its job. It got paid. It did its thing.
Okay,
it's not terrible, but it's not great.
See, for me, I've only seen the first third of Dino Charge and then bits and pieces of the rest of it and Supercharge. And for me, from what I've seen, this show is in the middle between Megaforce and Samurai, where it's there have been a lot of improvements. There have been a great deal of improvements to fix the story. There's a story going on here because at least you could say them adapting Shinkenger goes the same way as them adapting Time Force, where there's a decent amount of story still there. This one is Overdrive Plus, where it's they don't know how to do multiple villain factions right. Because first it's that isn't Overdrive Light, it's Mystic Force Light.
I was about to say all of the villains are on the same side.
It's Mystic Force Light because it's first you have this villain, then it's now he's defeated. Here's this villain, and there's this villain, and the original villain's back. It's so convoluted and so backwards, and then the multitude of Rangers make you lose so much focus from the main two, the main five, where it's hey, Tyler's a thing, and hey, Koda's a thing, because his actor is really good with the Ranger community, and it's the rest of them don't get shit. Riley got, from what I can tell, from what I've heard from people, Riley got no development until Zeno Wing came up and was hey, here's a new sword move, guy. And then once the oppression stopped from Morgan, Shelby's development went out the window, except for when Commander Truman from RPM comes in as her dad and wants her to run a ice cream shop.
She's nah, Dad, I gotta go my own way. I'm gonna follow my.
So it's
I like dinosaurs.
Yeah, and it's the development is so held back by there being so many Rangers that it's they don't know what to do.
But at the same token, there's officially 10 Rangers, but we only really focus on 7 of them at this point. Really up until that point. The main 5, Ivan and Kendall, are the ones we see more often than not because they're obviously the main characters. You'll see Tyler's dad, you'll see Prince Philip, you saw Zenowing at the end, but they're not they're kind of side characters in a sense. They don't really do the main team thing a lot,
I guess. Okay.
So at least for me, it really wasn't that bad, especially considering SPD and how many Rangers they had.
Yeah, but at least you can say SPD specifically made sure to keep the focus on almost every Ranger. Everybody but Sid got focus. Jack got focus, Z got focus when it came to Sam and her background and her stuff. Sky got focus, Bridge got focus, Hellcat got focus multiple times, Boom got focus. But this show can't decide if it wants to focus primarily on Tyler how Mystic Force did, or give everybody else a little bit here and there and whatnot, but we have like 10 Rangers to cover. Like, well, I feel like Chip Lynn was still trying to get his bearings back from being gone for so long, if that makes sense.
Which is fine. You know, it's his first full season back. But, yeah. I mean, there's bound to be hiccups. And plus, most of these seasons are primarily Red Ranger focused anyway. In some aspects, even Sentai does it, where the Red Ranger is pretty much the face of the group. So they're gonna get the power-ups. They're gonna get most of the development. Everybody else, yeah, they kind of fall to the wayside, but at least they'll get some here and there. Oh, also plus Tyler and Shelby, they were shipped from day one. Yep. They kind of are a thing, but it's neither confirmed nor denied.
Yeah.
So yay, Ranger relationships.
And now, what's weird about the spin from what I just said about Chip Lynn needing to get his reins back? The next show,
like he got his thing, he got his groove back.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
You like this better than Dino Charge.
I don't like Ninja Steel more than Dino Charge. Ninja Steel is a travesty. Like if I had to rank the Disney seasons right the hell now before we even talk about Ninja Steel, it would probably be like I think at this point Samurai and Dino Charge are tied, and then like Ninja Steel's just limping a little bit higher, like it's pushed like it's almost as if that one scene where like in a comedy where the twins of the group get stuck in a hallway, so they gotta push each other out the way. Like Ninja Steel pushes Megaforce out the way and then follows behind. Like
it's on hospice care. It's not completely dead yet, but
So it's like it makes sense, but it's like, all right, now what am I talking about? So
what are you talking about? Because I didn't fully watch this season.
So Ninja Steel is a mess. Is a mess.
Ninja Steel.
Like
I don't know.
Like okay, so so what we have in Ninja Steel is that like back in time, we have this whole thing where there's this intergalactic game show where these aliens fight each other for the ability to reach inside the Ninja Nexus prism to procure the power of the Ninja Steel and become the greatest warrior of the galaxy. Okay.
Yeah.
They locate the Ninja Nexus prism on a farm. They go to the farm where this man is training his sons to be ninjas. These white people are training to be ninjas. Yes, I'm bringing it back because it makes no sense. Now, granted, you can make an argument that they're like Italian. I'll buy it, or like
are
Spanish.
They're
like Spanish or Italian. I could like if you told me they were, I would believe it.
Okay.
Like, I would believe it, but for now, they white. So
they're white. That white man.
These white people are learning to be ninjas. And what ends up happening is the dad, who's actually, like who tries to save the Ninja Nexus prism, gets turned into a Red Ranger for like 5 minutes, and then he tells his sons to run away. He gets sucked into the Ninja Nexus prism, and the rest of the ninja stars are stuck in there. So they take it up to the ship, and they kidnap one of his sons, because he has 2 sons. And for the next 10 years, this child, Brody, lives on this ship and is raised by aliens. He somehow still has jeans and a t-shirt, but like he's raised by aliens.
I mean, we may be slave holders, but we're not savages.
I guess.
We'll put you in clothes.
So him and Boom, the actor who played Boom in SVT is a new character in this show, Mick. And his name is Mick Panic, which is so dumb, and I hate it.
Anyway, but Kelson Henderson does no wrong, so I let it pass.
Yes, we allow him to exist. So what? Like they realize that the villains of the ship. I don't even care about like the main bad guy because he's so stupid and like he's Master Xandron on crack. Like that's literally what the main villain is. Like Galvanax, he is the epitome of like if someone put Master Xandron over a frying pan and cooked them for like 5 minutes. Like, he's brown and he's giant and he has this stupid gravelly voice that I can't freaking stand. I hate it so much. Like, it's the same thing with Megaforce with half their villains. I mean, like they made Prince Vakar like this weird like hello, I'm Prince Vakar, but gay men everywhere cry in pain because I'm with you. Anyway, like
I honestly thought he was just because he was so flamboyant with himself. It
was so stupid. But no, so Brody and Mick figure out they're trying to use the Ninja Nexus Star as a prism. We don't know what this Nexus Star is. It's this giant fucking like mystical glass ninja star with like colorful points that just flies around and is the ex machina for everything in this show. They never explain where it comes from. They never explain who made it. It's just it has powerful ninja steel. As apparently ninja can be an adjective now to explain the type of metal. And like
pretty much,
it gives them the power they need. Okay, fine.
It's the MacGuffin.
Yeah, it's the MacGuffin. So they escape from the ship and get the Ninja Nexus Star to follow them down to Earth because conveniently the ship is over Earth right when this happens. They fall through a garbage chute and land on Earth. At the same time, the first day of school is happening because you have Sarah, who is the Pink Ranger, flying in on a Marty McFly hoverboard, which makes no friggin' sense.
Which we need in real life, an actual hoverboard, I'm just saying.
I wish. Not these freaking wheelie hoverboard things.
No, those aren't hoverboards.
They call them hoverboards.
But you're not hovering off the ground. You're on wheels. You're on wheels. It doesn't count.
You got Preston, who is Coda's brother. I mean, well, he is.
What?
Okay, so conveniently, one of the biggest moments of like Power Rangers history is when Yoshi Sudarso played Coda in Dino Charge, and then come to find out a year or two later, his brother Peter Sudarso had been trying out for Power Rangers and got the role of the Blue Ranger in the next season. So there's this whole emotional moment, you can find it on YouTube, where Yoshi has to read off his brother's name when the previous season introduces the new Rangers, and like everybody knew but Yoshi, and Yoshi has to do this whole thing. And then he comes in, hugs his brother. It's so emotional. Anyway,
it was so nice.
It was. So, but in reality, his character's name is Preston. He likes to do magic tricks, and that's all you need to know about him. Because Sarah, she's the tech girl. Preston is the magician. You have Calvin, who originally was going to be played by a black actor, but then he was replaced randomly before filming. So now you have an interracial relationship in the form of Calvin and Haley. Haley has no characteristics of her own other than being the girlfriend, and Calvin likes cars.
She's the girlfriend with the dog.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. She's the girlfriend with the dog.
Yeah. So it's so like basic, like if there was a season that was really trying to emulate MMPR like more correctly than Megaforce, it would be Ninja Steel, because they're in high school, they're back to basics, they try to have their own version of Bulk and Skull and these two people named Victor and Monty, who are just unbearable because they do fart jokes. Literal fart jokes, like we're back, because Power Rangers maybe had like a couple fart jokes over the years, but like these two dudes, this jock and this nerd, constantly do it, and I would have stabbed them in the throat every time I heard it. I was like, why? Why does this exist? I hate it.
And he's a stereotypical jock too that thinks he's better than everybody and uses the nerd to do his homework. So I honestly ship him as gay, really.
Like seriously, a lot of the fandom ships them because of the fact that Victor Vincent loves his 6-pack abs and all this stuff, and like Monty's just as conceited as him about his intellect. They work so well together, but they're not like comedic with like Hearts of Gold like Bulk and Skull were. They're just assholes, and I hate it.
Pretty much. Like
Ninja Steel should have been the season that I loved because it was like real back to basics. But like I find myself stealing a line from Lindsay Ellis from YouTube where I'm just like, thanks, I hate it. Like that's literally this season in a nutshell. It's thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, it's oof. It was just a big oof.
Yeah, Because like the whole theme of the show is that once they get their powers, because once Brody comes to Earth, all five of these people are able to pull the Ninja Nexus stars out of the Nexus and become Power Rangers. The whole theme of the show moves forward is they change the whole format of Galaxy Warriors so that Galvanax tells them to go to Earth and whoever can kill the Power Rangers becomes a Galaxy Warrior. That's the new plot of the show. So they continue this format for a long time. Kind of find out Madame Odious, Galvanax's right-hand girl, is really the bad bitch of the whole season and is planning to like basically kill Galvanax later. Yeah. And we move forward, like start doing our own plans and stuff like that. Like, she reminds me a lot of Thrax from Time Force, where she had her own thing going on and didn't really care about the main villain, but then ultimately becomes the main villain faster than anyone thought possible.
Yeah.
And it's just so I come to find out she kidnapped Brody's brother when he come to find out that he was hiding on Earth as a country music singer, which is just stupid and I hate it. And come to find out,
gotta explain the cowboy theme somehow.
Yeah, like that's how they explain the fact that in the Sentai, the Gold Ranger of the season had a mystic electric guitar, and his armor was themed around cowboys, and only Sentai exclusive because they chose the correct they made the correct choice of not bringing it over. They had his morpher being a cheeseburger.
Well, a cheeseburger cell phone.
A cheeseburger cell phone. Because in Ninja Steel, all of the Rangers have sort of similar to the Tiki heads of Megaforce, where they have just a giant ninja star, and they plug their ninja stars into the ninja star, and they become the Rangers. Which, okay, I buy that. Not a giant cheeseburger, my guy.
It wasn't giant. It was a cell phone size, because he was a bounty hunter, and he took pictures with the monsters that he killed.
That's stupid.
The stupider than using the sidearm weapon as your morpher instead of the thing you mainly use. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's stupid.
The stars don't even spin in the thing. They're not supposed to spin.
You salty, and I understand.
I am salty, and I will continue to be salty.
Because in the Sentai, the main Rangers use their swords to transform, similar to how Dino Charge had the guns. But they didn't do that here. They're like, nah, y'all gonna have some giant morphers, and you're gonna be happy with that. I was like, I'm cool with that.
It's not practical. It's really not that practical.
The sword's not practical either.
It actually is. If you're in ninja season, you put it in your what's the thing that you put your sword in? The cover part. I'm having a brain fart right now. But if you're quote unquote ninjas, it's much easier to have a sword as your weapon of choice than it is to have like a sidearm thing.
See, but then I look at pictures from the Dino Charge Sentai, and they had like holsters for their guns. Which,
yes,
you could easily hide that in real life. Which I buy that. But in Ninja Steel, you can't walk into school with a whole like sidearm of a sword, my guy.
Hey man, you could just pull it from the back from your back like we did the regular morphers from Mighty Morphin. Oh. You could keep that hidden. You had communicators. You could have just tapped it and the sword would have popped out. Something. There are ways of getting around this. They're just lazy.
Anyway, we move from here to basically the same format of the season because we kind of find out because there was this point in the season where this robot shows up and claims to be Brody's brother, and they're like, "No, that's not real. You're a robot." And then they go, "Oh, this country music singer gets his memories back and is proven to be my brother." Okay, cool. So the season. And they get to the end of the season, they end up getting a power-up that leads to a Megazord, which in reality, I don't think the Megazord was used much in the Sentai because...
Which one? The lion?
Yeah, the lion.
Yeah, it's used a lot.
Well, like in the shots they use to explain, this Megazord is coming through the galaxy. It comes from the Lion Fire galaxy. It looks like someone just had like a green screen and the toy and was like, meow. I'm like, that doesn't look like Sentai footage.
Well, yeah, for that, because in the Sentai it's an actual living thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's an actual living being.
Oh,
it's a person.
Oh wow!
It's kind of a person.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, talk about Redbot.
Do I have to?
I mean, he's a character.
Okay, so like the other person that came down from the ship with Brody and Mick is this robot named Redbot. There you go. Like he doesn't do anything. Like he
wants to be a human.
He's Dollar Store Alpha. That's all he is. He's Dollar Store Alpha with a Pinocchio complex, like he's Mac from Overdrive.
I found it hella weird that he actually looked like Brody's Zord.
Yeah, well, because didn't that tie into how the Sentai was or something?
No.
Oh, it was just conveniently he looked like,
or else we just want to make it look like him. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Redbot's not in the Sentai.
Oh, I thought he was.
No, he's not. His robot is just his robot.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So Dollar Store Alpha exists. I didn't care. I've seen more of Ninja Steel than I have Dino Charge, but I had to go back to watch the finale specifically for this podcast because me and Andre stopped watching Ninja Steel at the same point, and I'll explain why. Here in a second, once I wrap up Ninja Steel and go to Super Ninja Steel. So Ninja Steel wraps up with the team defeating what is it?
Galvanax.
Galvanax. They defeat Galvanax. They lose all of their powers because the Nexus Star gets ends up cracking, and all of their powers turn to dust. But they had destroyed the ship that the Galaxy Warriors show took place on. Oh yeah, the villains are defeated, yay! And then they're going away for summer vacation. We get to Super Ninja Steel. Come to find out, Sledge is alive, which makes no friggin' sense. Sledge comes through a dimensional portal and comes to this universe.
The main universe.
It has an asteroid with him that has Super Ninja Steel in it, which makes no sense. And we have Madame Odious, who is now the main villain, take the Super Ninja Steel and restores the Nexus Prism. That way she can make her own evil ninja stars to defeat the Rangers. Thankfully, they end up stealing back the Nexus and gaining the Super Ninja Steel and recraft their powers and weapons. And it's kind of cool because, at the finale of Ninja Steel, Mick became a Ranger, which was pretty cool for his actor.
Finally.
Yeah, it was pretty cool for his actor. So, they had lost their powers at the finale, so now they have their powers back, and Mick came back because he had went home to visit his family, which was kind of cool. But now we're back to basics. We're back to the monster of the day for a little bit. But then!
Oh, God. But then
the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers has arrived, and we had been told this special was happening. We have been told this was coming.
It's coming.
We had seen backstage footage from JDF while they were filming, and the plot, and conveniently, this special was being filmed. Well, but it was released right as the final issues of Shattered Grid, the Boom comic, was coming out, which had a villain named Lord Draken, which was an evil version of Tommy Oliver that became evil. It combined the powers of the dragon and the tiger and made it into one really powerful power. Yep. And started taking over the entire universe, started absorbing the entire morphing grid, and was trying to basically shatter all of the Power Ranger dimensions. That way he was the greatest evil in the entire multiverse. So
basically, your greatest fear is about JDF, but personified.
Yes. So we get to the 25th anniversary that basically tries to retell this, but with less Rangers and a generic villain, and it's very sad. So we have Madame Odious that starts kidnapping Legacy Rangers so that way she can turn them into a robot army with the help of a random monster named Lord Draven. Get it? Lord Dragon, Lord Draven. And Lord Draven has the power to use these arrows to shatter, to create tears in the multiverse. That way, the antiverse of the multiverse spills out and creates chaos and shatters the multiverse. So. Ooh. Previously, when the Ninja Steel Rangers didn't have their original Zords and they needed to gain the power of these new Blaze Zords, 3 hooded figures come through a portal and tell them, hey, this is how you get the Blaze Zords. And they got the Blaze Zords. But we get to this new special where the 3 hooded figures return and we find out that they are Wes from Time Force, Gemma from RPM, and Coda from Dino Charge. Woo! What the fuck? Anyway, so we come to find out that apparently Time Force has developed technology that makes it so they can travel to and from different dimensions, but it's only used in emergencies. Ergo, Power Rangers. so come to find, it is revealed that different Legacy Rangers have been kidnapped by Madame Odious. We have Tommy. We have Kat.
Woo!
Because apparently Tommy and Kat are married in this new timeline, and which was totally a middle figure to all the Tommy and Kimberly shippers.
Well, I mean, if you watch the Zeo Christmas special, you kind of knew.
Yeah, but everyone hated that. So they figured they would rewrite that.
Well, yeah, but now it's actually come to fruition. Yeah. It happened.
So we have Tommy, we have Kat, we have TJ, who has reassumed his Blue Ranger power from in space, which is annoying.
I'll take what I can get.
We have Rocky Steve Cardenas, who has returned.
Yes.
we have who else was there? We have Trent from Dino Thunder wearing a wig. Woo! We have Antonio from Samurai wearing a wig.
Fantastico!
Oh my god! because both Trent and Antonio's actors had super long hair, but they needed to have their show hair, so they made them wear wigs, and it's funny as hell.
That's funny.
We have Gia from Megaforce, and I think that's all the Legacy Rangers. Yeah, that was
Gemma.
I said Gemma and Coda and Wes already.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, good. Because all these Legacy Rangers that have been captured were being taking their morphing grid energy and being turned into evil Power Ranger robots. So Madame Odious had a whole army of Ranger robots. So Wes, Gemma, and Coda show up to break everybody out. They free Tommy. Tommy leaves with them. They reunite and form a new plan where the Ninja Steel Rangers will go destroy Draven's arrows. That way he can't destroy the multiverse anymore. And Tommy, Wes, Gemma, and Coda will go back and free the rest of the Legacy Rangers.
Solid plan.
They do this. They free everybody.
Here it comes.
Antonio's bitch ass has the nerve to look over everybody's shoulders and say, "Hey, Tommy, thanks for saving us." And I look at my screen and go, "Listen here, you not Spanish motherfucker. He is not the only person in this room that just saved you. One of the best Red Rangers of all time, one of the baddest bitches in all of Power Rangers, aka Gemma, because boom time.
Boom time!
And Coda, who I like.
I love him.
Just came in and saved you. Not just Tommy.
I mean, he was the first person he saw.
Anyway.
They were under helmets.
Anyway.
I don't know.
So that they end up leaving, but right as they're gonna leave, the captain of the robots, the evil Tommy robot, says, "Hey, Tommy, I want to battle you." It's like it's a freaking Pokemon battle.
No, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh duel.
Oh Jesus! So the robot turns into the Brachio version of Tommy, and with the Black Ranger.
Ranger Tommy,
and Tommy reaches into his pocket.
Oh God, here it comes.
Andre knows what's coming through.
Everybody prepare yourselves. It's coming.
Tommy reaches in his pocket and pulls out the Master Morpher.
Ooh.
Somehow, in the preceding year since Dino Thunder, this motherfucker has procured the ability to combine all... Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 5 of his powers, because at first we only see 4. But we find out from the Soul of the Dragon graphic novel that he can use Turbo. So all 5 of his powers into one Mighty Morphin looking morpher. And I just sit there like the dick sucking continues. Why? So this man goes like Dino Thunder, power up, turns into Black Ranger. Then he goes, Steel Ranger 5, red, turns into Red Ranger. Dragon Zord turns into the Dragon Ranger. I'm like,
what's he say for White Ranger?
I don't even know.
Did he turn into White Ranger, Tommy?
Yeah, he did for the main fight.
Oh, I thought he was Green Ranger, Tommy.
No, he was Green Ranger for the end fight, and then he turns into the White Ranger specifically for a reason. I will discuss in a minute.
We'll discuss that.
He defeats the robot, and then links up with the rest of the Rangers for the end fight. Now, I will admit the end fight is kind of cool because there's this moment where the Ninja Steel Rangers are like, "Wow, we can't beat all these robots," and then all of the Legacy Rangers go do like the little ninja appear, like the little smoke trick that the Ninja Steel Rangers had learned.
Only Tommy and Rocky Cat know how to do that.
No, all of them do it.
Well, no, I know. I'm just saying, logically, it makes sense that those 3 know how to do it since they were quote-unquote ninjas.
They were ninjas for one season.
They were ninjas for one season.
So they all show up, and they don't do like a full call out of all their morphs. They just kind of do like a ready, ha! They'll like activate their powers all at once. And so there's the one thing that irritates me is the fact that there's one more person with a morpher that frustrates me, but I won't get into that, and that leads to a lot of legacy shit that I'm not going to talk about here. Yep. But in general, fight's really good. There's some quippy stuff that goes on. There's some itsy ha's from Tommy, yada yada. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. I'm not going to say it's not. But then
it's coming. Part 2 is coming.
Lord Draven is like maximized into a giant like creature by Odious, and Odious like gives him the power to shoot his last arrow into the air to break the multiverse.
Yep.
Okay. So
breathe. It's okay.
We have the ability to we have all of the Ranger Zords from Ninja Steel.
We do.
Now, Andre, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't the Ninja Zords destroyed when Zed and Rita destroyed the ninja powers?
James, I think you're right.
So,
I believe so.
So, Jason David Frank, I need you to explain, and writers of Ninja Steel, I need you to explain to me how Tommy goes White Ranger power. Turns from green to white, activates the Falcon Zord from the Ninja season, and it's the shittiest CGI too. He flies.
Isn't it the Legacy Falcon Zord, which I'm holding right now?
It's the toy. They animated the toy and had it fly up at the arrow. It catches the arrow and destroys it, and I just sit there like. This makes no sense. Now, like basic Tommy, like dick suckers will be like, okay, it's just the power of the White Ranger, so he had access to the Zord. No, bitch. That's not how that works. The Zord was destroyed, and even then, the Zords were then later turned into the Battle Borgs, which were then used as the Zeo Zords. So I can use legacy logic too, bitch. Come at me. Anyway. This is so the fight ends and they all go their separate ways like, yeah, Power Rangers, and we never hear from these people again. They had to go through the rest of their season with no backup because obviously if their season they can't be uprooted, yada yada.
Yeah.
The season ends really like pretty fast after this because they just have like a couple more brawls with Odious and they almost lose their powers. It pretty much is like Samurai verbatim, where they have an unmorphed fight against Odious, and then they beat her. It's pretty basic. It's kind of shammy because it seems very rushed because they were low on budget. So it's alright. Ninja Steel had a lot of potential, but it wasted it constantly. It wasted like it had poor writing and a lot of points. There was very little development from anybody but Brody and his family.
Yeah.
And
Preston got some.
Occasionally, Preston and Sarah got a little bit, but like the most Haley and what's his face did was like break
Calvin.
up. Calvin, the most they had in development was they broke up like once, then they got back together because I can't live without you. Like that was it. This season was like Mighty Morphin Light, where like it was trying so hard to be Mighty Morphin. It is better at doing Mighty Morphin than Megaforce, thankfully, but it doesn't live up to the potential that it could. So
they didn't train as ninjas very much, I noticed.
Yeah. So I give it a C-.
I'll give it a D+.
We almost the same grade.
It's not even average. It's slightly below average.
So Andre and I thought we would finish off this discussion of all the Power Rangers seasons by going through a list and giving our short thoughts on each Black Ranger, specifically because it's Black History Month, but also because this is a Black Nerd podcast, talking about all of the Black Rangers or the African people of color Rangers of the series. So, yes. First off, got to give it up for the original, Zach, the original Black Ranger. We talked about in the first episode, the inventor of hip-hop Aikido, Walter Jones, being the badass that he is.
Yes. Love him. Love him.
I love him to death. He ain't one of my favorites, but I love what he does for the culture. I don't know if you have a different opinion on him. I just like I love him, but he ain't my favorite, if that makes sense.
He's in my top favorites. He's like top 10 tier.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe top 5. I don't know.
And like he ended up getting cut because like he wanted more money from the studio because later on in record we found out that from different actors you basically could be working for McDonald's and make more money to be a Power Ranger, and it was kind of sad.
Doing all of those stunts and potentially getting hurt, and you're getting paid minimum wage.
Like that's depressing.
That's really, and you gotta like house yourself pretty much.
Yeah. So it's like
that's sad.
Yeah. So it's like I feel bad in that instance. But then we look at the next Black Ranger, which was Karen Ashley, a.k.a. Aisha. Who
First Black female.
She came in to replace Trini as the Yellow Ranger for Mighty Morphin. We love her. She was amazing for what she did. She didn't have as much development other than like, oh, she's Kimberly's friend, and oh, she is spunky and kind of a kick-ass. Like, oh, she came from Stone Canyon. Like, well, she didn't get a lot. Like, we found out towards the end of her tenure that she was interested in animals and veterinarianism and whatnot. So later on in a fan video, like Karen Ashley played Aisha and said when she went to Africa, but she became a vet and a zoologist. So like, yay.
I mean, she did house Kimberly when her parents was getting. Mom was going to Paris. So
you cut out for like all of that.
Oh, she housed Kimberly in the 3rd season when her parents were getting divorced and her mom was going to remarry and move to Paris.
Damn. I forgot about that.
So, best friend goals.
Yeah. So then when like during the Zeo quest, we had the whole situation where there was an African girl who said she would take Aisha's place because Aisha wanted to stay in Africa. This is also because Karen Ashley wanted a pay raise. Come to find out, she didn't get to do that. So like we had the ability for Nakia Baris to come in and play Tanya. Tanya was the Yellow Ranger on the team for Zeo and for the first half of Turbo. I like Tanya a lot, but in the same vein as Aisha, like, she just kind of exists. Like, she doesn't have any major character traits. So, like, Like, is that fair?
In the same vein as Aisha, she's great. She kind of has this pseudo thing with Adam, which I was really hoping that they develop a little bit more, but that did not come to fruition. So, I mean, she's good. I like her for what she did.
Yeah, like she exists, and like we love her. Also, like
she's valid.
Her and Catherine Sutherland are about to start a new show on YouTube called Power Rangers Playback. So like, go support that. Even though I don't really understand it, like go support it.
They watch their old episodes because I'm pretty sure they haven't 20+ years.
Yeah, so like go support that. The first episode is like Wednesday, so go support that.
Oh, good.
From there, we had Selwyn Ward, first Black leader of the Power
Rangers.
As patented by Andre the Black Nerd. Not this Andre the Black Nerd, but a different one.
I really should reach out to him and do a collab, I swear.
Oh my god. Anyway, so TJ comes in. We love him because he definitely tries to be like serious, but also cares about his team. Like, he doesn't have a lot of development, but for what he does, you appreciate him.
Yes.
Like, the whole getting baked into a pizza thing is still kind of funny to me.
He said, "We're gonna toss your salad."
if only he knew what that would mean later.
Yeah.
And kids,
I'm sure he does know that.
Kids, ask your parents. So... Yes. Like, so we appreciate Selwyn Ward for what you did. Didn't do a lot because you got demoted, but like, it's okay.
I mean, he did his thing when he was demoted.
Yeah,
well, I wouldn't really call it a demotion. He was second.
I call it a demotion because the one thing that happened when he went to In Space and became the Blue Ranger, the only thing of note that he had to do was during the Psycho arc where he got to like confuse the Psycho Rangers by making them all the same color.
I mean, he lost his memories for a bit. In that one earlier episode,
yeah,
he did his thing.
From there we had Damon, like in Lost Galaxy, the mechanic. Damon had like no character other than he was the mechanic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, he was just like the sassy black mechanic who got mad at people for messing with his shit.
Yeah. So, did he marry Trakina?
Huh?
Didn't he marry Trakina in real life?
Did he?
I believe he did. Let me find out, because I'm like 100% sure
I
he
didn't
did.
know that. What?
I'm pretty sure he did. Yes, he did.
What? he married the villain.
Apparently, he married her like right after, like they got together and got married. Show they have children.
They have how many children?
3.
Holy shit.
They have 3 children.
I'm surprised he didn't walk when she was disrespected during the Lightspeed team-up.
I mean, somebody got to make the money.
I guess, but goddamn. So Damon didn't really do a whole lot, but apparently he got the villain. So good job, Damon. Good job, Reggie. Roll. You did your job.
Apparently, in the Legendary Battle DVD commentary, he mentioned that some kid saw his toy in Toys R Us while him and what's her name, Amy Miller, who played Trakina. So they were like, "What are you doing with Trakina?" And he's like, "I'm tricking her." To save the universe. He said that like in character too.
Oh man.
It's kind of funny.
I love it. Okay.
That's
so
great.
Like you ain't do a whole lot, but good job.
Good job.
So we from there we had Joel, who I really don't like Joel. I admit that.
I like him in instances.
Like, he's just the dude who really wanted to get in the tech girl's pants, and I really didn't like that.
And eventually he did.
He did. He married her.
He married her.
Like on the show, I don't know what happened in real life, but like,
probably not.
Like, so, like, I respect the hustle, but like, you was really thirsty for this woman, and I really didn't appreciate it.
I mean, she had that library-esque lady down packed. I dig it.
I guess, but like,
she had the librarian look with the glasses and her hair down. I dig her.
Oh Lord, okay. I didn't understand it, but anyway, from there we had Katie. Katie was one of the Rangers of Time Force, and she definitely like she didn't do a whole lot. Like, other than being super strong, she just kind of existed. Like, there was a cool thing during one of the episodes where she got to like embrace her love of musicals, but otherwise, like,
She was a really big family person.
She was that glue that would constantly try to keep them together. Like, there was a definitive moment where like she goes, "We were better off with Wes," and like just shoves it in Alex's face, and I love it.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. We are better with Wes than we are with Alex.
Yeah. So it was a bit strange, but I respect it.
Didn't she go back in time at one point, like to the Old West?
I do not remember.
I'm pretty sure she went back in time to do something that involved the clock tower. I don't remember.
Oh.
But yeah, other than being strong and like she had like this one episode early on where she was like afraid of how what they were doing in the past would affect her future and like if her family would exist or whatever, but she got over that pretty quickly.
Okay.
So I mean she was there. She's doing cons again. Or now.
Yeah,
she's doing cons now.
So respect on her name. She did good.
Yes, she did good.
Okay, so and then from there we went into Wild Force, where Max, the Blue Ranger, was the Surgeon Shark. He was the Beast. He was the kid per se of the group. He was perceived as not really someone to be respected at first, but once he grew better as a character, he was loved. I like Max a lot. I like his whole arc where he went bowling and like used the bowling ball to defeat a monster.
I love that because I was a kid bowler myself, so I found that very relatable. I liked him. He was good.
So respect on that. Ninja Storm didn't have a black person. I mean, like a person of color was done in form of Shane or Pua, but he wasn't black. So like,
was he Samoan?
He was Samoan.
Oh.
So rest in peace, Pua. But like, not on the stuff that you did when you were alive. We've heard some things.
We heard some things through the grapevine.
Yes.
You was getting side-eyed.
Yeah, a little bit. So from there we had Dino Thunder, where we had Ethan. Ethan was the stereotypical black nerd before it was like big in the game.
Respect.
Respect. He definitely had his grind. There was the whole episode where their personalities got switched later on, and they were like, "Oh, I'm a jock now." And I was like, "No, you're not. No, you're not." Like, I didn't buy it at all.
I love that episode. Actually, it was funny.
I didn't buy it.
He was like constantly sweating for no reason.
Yeah,
you're barely doing push-ups and curl-ups. Like, what are you sweating from, homie?
It was very strange.
It was very strange. And then he had this thing with Cassidy.
Yeah, that was weird because they met on a blind date and this kind of became a thing.
Yeah.
It was very strange. So, like, respect on Ethan. Like, and when he came back later as a when he came back later, like for the SPD team up, like it was like, oh yeah, you built a lot of the software we use here. And he's like, you know, genius. I'm like, yeah, you did good.
Yeah, he did good.
So from there we go into SPD, where we have the second black leader of the Power Rangers, Mr. Brandon J. McLaren.
Woo!
Jack Landers, I love you. You have been one of my favorite Rangers for a long time. Your arc from going from being this like person who just wanted to help the poor, who wanted to be there for the little guy, and then growing into a leader who, at the end of the day, still chose to step down because being a Power Ranger was not one of your goals in life. You only did it because you wanted to help the world and be there for your friend. I love that about you. You did good. I love you.
You did good, fam. You did good.
You have any words for this man?
I like the episode where him and Sid bonded, and she ended up sharing her birthday with him. The one episode of development that she got.
Yeah, that was like it.
Don't you talk about my cousin Sid like that?
Homie, you need to stop this.
No, just for anybody with the last name Drew.
Just because you two share a last name does not mean she's your cousin.
I do the same thing with Nancy Drew. You calm down.
The Nancy Drew show getting a little too weird.
I really like it, but we can talk about that later.
Okay, so we go. Mr. Force had no black people, so we want to talk. Well, it had John Tui, but John Tui's Samoan, so like that's not. Anyway.
Was it? Wait, what was Nick?
Nick
was he also New Zealand-ish person?
I think.
He had a darker complexion. Whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So, but then we go into Overdrive, where he who must not be named, because he is a piece of shit, exists. If you go back to our part 3, you will hear about our discussion on Samuel Bento. We do not talk about Samuel Bento because he is a piece of shit. So we will move on clear across the road.
It's not like he really did anything in this show anyway.
Yup, and he a thief and a bitch.
He really took his role really seriously.
Yes. So, what was it? Jungle Fury had no black people, which is stupid. Because apparently black people, apparently black people can't learn martial arts, which I find really annoying.
I mean, yeah.
Because both
black people can't learn martial arts in New Zealand.
Apparently, because Ninja Storm didn't have no black people. Freaking Jungle Fury don't got no black people.
Yeah. I'm seeing a pattern here.
Apparently. So we go into RPM, which has the third black leader of the Power Rangers, Mr. Darville as Scott Truman, one of the best Power Rangers of all time. Suck it, JDF fans. Like I love.
No, we love and respect you if you like him.
Like we respect you, but I don't agree with your opinion.
Your opinions are valid. We just might not agree with them.
Yes. Sorry, I get excited about this stuff. Anyway, so Scott is amazing. I will die for this man. Like he tries so hard to deal with his daddy issues because his dad is a bitch and is like, I loved your brother more than you. Why couldn't you?
He said that.
That's what he does.
I remember he said that.
Like it's like why isn't your brother here? Your brother failed. Like it's so sad. So like props to Scott. He was a great leader. I love him to death. Andre, any words for Scott Truman?
Scott Truman literally does no wrong in my eyes. Like, oh my goodness, his actor is really good. He's in Jessica Jones. Didn't he play a druggie?
Yeah,
he played a druggie very well. Scott Truman does no wrong. That's all I gotta say. Love him. Love that man. Love him.
Yes. From RPM, we go into Samurai, which we have Kevin.
Douche.
That wasn't the word I was going to use, but that works. Douche is the epitome of what Kevin does. Kevin is so salty about not getting able to go to the Olympics that he is just the douche of the whole season. Like, he just brings down the whole room all the freaking time. Like, if he ain't dick riding Jaden, he is just always the douche, and it's sad. I love his costume. I love his stance when he performs. I love him. But like, Kevin is a douche, and I hate him.
And I love how he's like the one to talk about heritage, bruh. You're like, black.
Antonio's not a samurai. You're black.
Bruh, you're black.
Like, it makes no sense. And when you find out that Antonio's actor is Thai, it's like, this man has more right to be a samurai than you. Like, what you mean?
When's the last time you seen a black samurai? Except an Afro samurai.
Yeah, that's different.
Which I'm sure Travis will take up that mantle at some point in life.
Yes. From there we go into Megaforce, which we have Noah. Noah is the whitest black person I've met in like my entire life.
I feel like he's me. I've been called a white black nerd.
No. Noah is whiter than you. Like
that's saying something.
Like he has that very annoying thing that we talked about on one of our previous episodes, where like white people go, "You're so well spoken." Like, he does that so well, and I want to punch him for it. Like, you are the personification of what white people want us to be. And it's like, can you not? Like, I respect you for being a nerd, but like, you are everything that I want us not to be. Like, yes, be successful. Yes, be well spoken, but
be
like,
sophisticated.
Be sophisticated, but don't feed into what the white people want out of you. Which that isn't the actor's fault. He did his job, but also that like this. I forgot to say this during the last episode. There's this moment in his like they have a specific episode for him. They steal part of a Sentai plot because like you'll be proud of me, Andre, because I know a Gokaiger thing.
Good job.
So there's a moment in Gokaiger where the Blue Ranger has a showdown with one of his old comrades who became a cyborg because they're both really good swordsmen. Yes. And they square off, and like the blue Gokaiger Ranger uses a bunch of swords and like battles him and all this stuff. They try to like ham fist it into Megaforce and like try to make Noah this impressive swordsman, but also a nerd, and it just like it doesn't work.
I did not like that episode.
Like they try to force it so hard because they want to like have that Sentai plot, but like it doesn't work.
Because Zacher just loves those Sentai plots.
Like, you could buy, like, Jake and Emma being trained by Casey. You could buy that. But, like, Noah taking it upon himself to train to be a better swordsman because he wants to defeat this swordsman dude, I'm like, I don't buy it. Sorry.
It made no sense to me.
So, like, Noah, I think you're, like, besides Samuel Bento for being a shit human, I think you're, like, the worst black, like ranger of them all to me. I'm sorry to say, like, a black person who's a ranger, like, because at least Damon exists. Like, you're just annoying.
At least Damon exists.
Like, at least Damon exists and is a decent ranger when he's on screen. Like, he's a cocky little bastard, too, because there's that moment during the first, In Space Lost Galaxy team up where he's like, yeah, we about to beat your ass. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I like this. This is cool. So, like, at least Damon has some character.
It's like Noah took the nerdy characteristics of Billy and mixed in the blackness of Ethan.
Yes.
And they produced a child.
Yes, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
We go from there into Shelby. We love Shelby. She is oppressed. We feel bad for her because she's oppressed. And then go for it, Andre.
First black Pink Ranger.
Yes.
First black Pink Ranger, and you're oppressed.
But like literally,
I'm so sorry, girl.
She's oppressed, and then she goes from oppressed to in a relationship. It's the worst transition. She goes from being oppressed by Kendall to then being in a relationship with Tyler. It's like her only characteristics are being oppressed or being someone's girl. Like, I feel so bad for you.
But she's hella smart though. She's the dinosaur expert.
You right.
And then after she becomes the Pink Ranger, and that's Miss Morgan to you, and Miss Morgan continues to give her shit. She's like, look, this is where we're at. This is what's happening. Either get on the train and ride the train, or hop off, because I'm still the Pink Ranger, and it's not changing anytime soon. And Miss Morgan's like, okay.
Yeah,
well, not verbatim, but she's like, okay.
Yeah,
you
like she finally smacks down the oppression. So like, good for you, Shelby. But like,
she broke the glass ceiling.
Yeah, she did, and so the rest of Dino Charge, she's fine. But then Dino Supercharge happens. Like, oh, Tyler and her relationship, yay! And it's like, what happened?
Oh yeah, and they switched bodies too, didn't they?
Yeah, that was weird.
That was very weird.
That was weird. So we go from there into Ninja Steel with Haley. And
I totally did not think she was black.
I found out she was, and
it did not come off to me that she was black.
And Haley is just the girlfriend. She has no characteristic other than she's Calvin's girl. That's it. And it's so sad. Like, at least Shelby is smart and has characteristics. All Haley is the girlfriend, and I hate it so much.
Yeah.
It's like they took all the smartness from Shelby, made it into Sarah, and then just left Haley as the girlfriend.
Yeah, she doesn't really do much.
Mm-hmm.
Did she have some weird episode where her and Sarah's parents were in a relationship and they were actively trying to break them up because they didn't want to be sisters for some reason?
Yeah, that was the thing.
That made them both terrible people, actually.
Yeah. And then lastly, we will give kudos and shout outs to two more of our Black Rangers real quick. We will give shout outs to Andre, not this Andre. Andre of Black Nerd Comedy, who went on to be a part of the role-playing RPG game on Hyper RPG, Power Rangers Hyperforce, which is canon in the Power Rangers timeline. It is factual. It takes place after Time Force. It does exist.
It does exist.
And him being cast as a ranger in that season is canon. He is not like a ranger who's ever got to be in a suit, but he is a ranger. They give him his own morph. At MorphCon, they let him morph on stage. He goes from being a moderator on panels to then being a ranger himself. So, like, respect to you, my guy. You have risen above Power Ranger fandom, and it succeeded all of us.
Yes. I aspire to be you. As a fellow Andre.
Oh my god. And then the other shout out we will give is RJ Seiler, who was the race change of Billy in the Power Rangers movie from Lionsgate, where he was told to be on, he was said to be on the spectrum. He was very smart while also being on the spectrum. We love him. Like, he goes out like a champ that is revived, and he is a beast.
Yes.
I love this man, like, so much. Like, his acting chops are so good. And then RJ Seiler later goes on to be on Black Lightning for half a season, and I love him there. So, yes, I love him.
We got to shout out third Black leader, or fourth Black leader.
Oh, yeah. Beast Morphers is not over, but shout out to Rory Travis playing, is it Devin or Devon?
Devin.
Devin. So shout out to you. We will come back to you once Beast Morphers is over, but shout out to you putting it down as the fourth black leader of the Power Rangers.
Woo. I believe second season starts on February 22nd.
I believe so, yes.
At 8 a.m. on Nickelodeon. That is not a plug, but, you know.
Why 8 a.m.?
I don't know either.
That's some Young Justice Season 2 time slot right there.
Yeah. Luckily, if you have cable and you have the Western Nickelodeon channel, you can catch it at a later time.
Yeah.
Which is what I do. Because there's no way I started waking up at 8 a.m. for Beast Morphers, but then I'm like, I can't keep doing this entire time because I like my sleep.
See, if I had cable, I would just TiVo it.
Well, I've been DVRing it, but I like watching it when it airs, so I just wait till it comes on Nick West.
All right, there you go. All right, so so all in all, Power Rangers is something that is near and dear to our heart. If Jasmine was here, she would say the same thing. The three of us, we would ride or die for Power Rangers. Travis is coming more into the morphing grid by how he had been a fan of MMPR as a child. We showed him SPD and he loved it. We're trying to get him into more. He has actively said he refuses to support Samurai because of white people. But in general, we are getting him more into the franchise.
Lauren deserves so much better.
Yes, she does. Hashtag respect Lauren. But y'all, like for me, I started in Turbo. I have loved this franchise since I was a child. My mother tried so hard to keep it from me because she was worried about the violence. But like, I kept trying so hard to watch it, and I kept doing it because the show means so much. Like in terms of story, in terms of perseverance, in terms of being like a hero for those in need. It may have its low points. It may be a kid's show, but at times like SPD and RPM, it has some of the deepest writing in the entire franchise. So I highly recommend it. There are different lists of the best seasons. Some of the favorites for me are RPM, SPD, Time Force, Wild Force, Dino Thunder, Jungle Fury. Jungle Fury is definitely a highlight for anybody.
Yes.
Like, so In Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed, like, check them out. They're definitely worth it.
Yes.
Andre, any last words before we sign off?
Like my compatriot here, it is also a franchise art. I actually, my parents didn't want me to stop watching it because of violence, because I knew the difference between reality and fiction. They just wanted me to grow out of it, which is not happening anytime soon. I will ride or die for this show. I became a second-degree black belt because of this show. I met James because of this show. I've met many people because of this show. And yeah, it has its low points, but all in all, I just stick with it because it just shows you the value of teamwork. And, you know, I love the racial diversity. Yeah. And, you know, all of that. You see how many black people we just named. 4 of them being Red Rangers.
Yep.
So, you know, it's a good show. I wish the writing was better in some and it was taken as seriously as, you know, your Marvel and your DC, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers at this point. So, yeah.
Definitely.
Watch it.
Definitely. Watch this show. It's important.
Yes.
Just not some of the ones that we have shown that are bad.
For the culture.
For the culture. All right. Don't forget, folks, that you can check this podcast out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff, except for SoundCloud. We don't support SoundCloud. We will be on iHeartRadio later this week. I will make that happen. So if you use that, that's an option.
That is an option.
Don't forget that you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Blerd Grounds. You can check us out on Twitter for our website on Comics Ground, on Twitter and Instagram at On Comics Ground, and check out the website on comicsground.com. Put some hyphens between those words for me. And you can listen to our brother and sister podcast, Panel to Panel and Living on the Edge, on all of those podcast platforms as well. And follow them on Twitter at PTP_podcast for Panel to Panel and LOTE_podcast for Living on the Edge. All right. This coming Friday, we will be back with the full cast for Black History Month, where we will be talking about some interesting things. Our resident doctor in charge, Mr. Dr. Aaron Jones, will be. Yeah, I said Mr. Doctor, deal with it.
Doctor.
Mr. Doctor.
Mr. Doctor. Oh, okay.
He will be in charge for the duration of Black History Month, except for our special episode in the middle of the month. So for 3 episodes, he will be in charge discussing all of the good stuff related to Black history. So get ready for that. All right. So we will catch you folks next time right here at Blerd Grounds. Andre, what's your closing statement for this episode?
Power Rangers is great. Like it if you like it, hate it if you don't. Just don't shit on other people's opinions. Yeah.
And then there's me who's going to go FJDF, and we go peace out.
You're valid. You're valid.
All right.
Anybody who likes him is also valid. Let us coexist.
We can coexist, but also, like, JDF can get on out of here. All right. We will catch you folks next time right here on Blerd Grounds. Peace.
Bye.